Hey, I'm JD. Welcome to my channel. Please subscribe. Please hit like. And what do I have here? I have my dad's old Fossil watch. It says 200 something under that dial, but it's an old Fossil watch, steel. It's not a bad case, and I think these are pins. I don't think they're screwed in. No, they're not screwed in. They're pins to punch out and stuff, but I want to clean it. It's kind of in a really crappy way here. It's kind of not looking so good. So if you look at all of the stuff in here, so most of his wrist is on here. So he's a pretty cool dude. He's 90 years old now. 90. So I went and bought him a Timex watch that's really simple because he can't really see this. So what I'm going to do is take the back off this watch first, and then I'm going to just take the guts out of it, and I'm going to throw the whole darn thing in an ultrasonic cleaner and see what happens. It's kind of a trial, I guess. All right, step one. Take the case back off. This thing looks pretty yucky. But he's my dad, so I figured the DNA is pretty much the same, right? So no problem there at all. Take the case back off. Now I could secure this, but I'm going to see if I can open it just by doing this. There we go. So the case back is now coming off. Was coming off 2 seconds ago. Let me get this tool back in here. I'm not too concerned with this watch. It's not, he doesn't want it anymore. He says he can't read the numbers, so I'll just clean it up and repurpose it. And there we go. So we get that case back off. It's got the 2 batteries in here, which is kind of nice. It's interesting. I'm not sure whether, well, one is actually for the watch and the other one's for the digital part of the watch. One's analog, the other's digital, which is unique, but a bit of a pain in the butt because then you got to replace 2 batteries every time you fix this watch. Now the trick is to get the movement out of this watch carefully, and I think I just need to figure out how to take the ring. There's a ring down there, as you can see, right? I'm just getting my watchmaking glasses out of their case so I can have a better look at this stuff. Stuff, I tell you, stuff. There we go. So there we go, and let me grab a pair of tweezers. And you should just be able to lift this out. If I'm lucky, I can lift it out. There we go, look at that. I'm a lucky lifter. Lucky lifter. Oh my God. And then this thing here, there's a button here that does absolutely nothing unless it presses in on something here, but I don't think it does anything. So yeah, because this would go here. No, there's a little piece of metal. There's a little piece of metal right there that I got to pay attention to because that metal presses down on this, which does something. So I got to pay attention to that, buddy. And I don't want to lose that metal. And there's a spring right here. And this spring, I believe, came from in here. I don't know. Actually, this spring might have come from other parts that I was working on earlier. So the spring from hell, I'm moving that out of the way. I don't think that spring has anything to do with anything. But I'm going to need a watch holder here because I don't want to lose that little tiny button. That button is just an extender of that plunger and allows you to plunge. And now I want to dump the watch. All right, this movement seems to be an ISA K63, and on the side there you can see 3020, so K63 3020. This is likely not a very expensive movement, but it's interesting, and it's interesting that it's got 2 batteries. I wonder who makes it. Okay, now I'm going to attempt to dump this movement. Let me get my Bergeron pad out here. See if this will just dump straight down. It might not. You know what? What a dummy. What a dummy. What I need to do is take the crown out here And usually there's a single button that supports moving that crown out of the way. The crown and stem. So I don't know if this is, yeah it is. Look at that. It is a sealed, nope, that ain't the button. I think the button is right there for doing this. Let me get my very fine tweezers here and see if I can get them in there to do that. Usually you pull it out once. I don't want to be touching this, so I'll use a piece of plastic here. There we go. One click out usually. I won't read this one, read up on this one, and then you press down on this button. That perhaps will let me extract the stem. It doesn't keep slipping. I may need to get closer and yeah, that ain't working. Gonna need to get closer. Alrighty then, this is a real challenge here. So I do see a hole right here, so maybe this hole will help with the stem removal. Or maybe it won't. It's always fun when you're trying to remove a stem from a watch. I looked it up and nothing online. So I just need to fart around a bit because it should be pretty evident. I can see a little lever there, so maybe that's it right there. Nope. That is not working. That doesn't make any sense at all. Let me push it in and see if it has to be in the in position to remove it. Maybe that's the case, because that is sometimes the case. There we go. What it is the when you push it in, a little lever moves in the way there, and you can see it pop in the way of that little tiny hole there. So then I'm able to remove the stem, get that out of the way. And now I should be able to just dump this movement. I'm going to just do it carefully like this onto the pad. So there it is there. Still ticking, takes a licking and keeps on ticking. So I'm just going to leave it like that because it works fine. And I'll put it inside the, very carefully lift that and put it inside the case holder here. It actually fits perfectly. Look at that. It's like it was made for it. Oh my God. The only problem is the ring is going to stop the second hand when it goes around. So I'll have to take it out of this because the ring will definitely stop the second hand, and just dump it on the side here. And there we go. And I don't know where this spring comes from. It may have come from the when I took the strap apart here, I had to remove it and the pin went flying, so it might be from there. So what I'm going to do, I could pop out the crystal completely, but what I want to do is take this out here if I can. And this is the seal. This is the navy seal. There we go. That's the seal for the watch. I'll just remove that. I can clean that later. And then I've got all this crap here, and it's just caked in dirt. And I really just want to throw it into the ultrasonic cleaner and see what happens. Now the crystal is cracked a bit on the sides here, and over here it's cracked. So I'm just going to toss it in the ultrasonic cleaner, and if I've got a problem with the crystal later on, I'll fix it. But I'm going to throw the whole thing in my little miniature ultrasonic cleaner, just like this. I'm not too concerned about it, though. And just so you know, this is my watch. This is not a customer's watch. So if it was a customer's watch, I likely wouldn't do it this way. I would probably remove the crystal on it and then throw it in after that, but I don't care. So I'm going to toss it in as an experiment, and we'll be back. I'll see what happens, and we'll be back and see how clean this thing can get. But look at the back. Yuck! So this ultrasonic cleaner is made in the words of Donald Trump, China. So it still has plastic on the edge. I've never taken the plastic off the top of this thing. Maybe I should someday, right? Probably look a lot better with the plastic off. Look at that. I have never taken the plastic off of this. And there's probably plastic there too. Anyway, I'm going to put it in as is, just like this. Bang into the ultrasonic cleaner. This is aluminum, so it shouldn't hurt anything there. And just throw it in like that. I may throw it in with the crystal up, in case it does over vibrating. And I fill this up with water, and I've got an ultrasonic cleaning solution I use. Jewelry and eyewear ultrasonic cleaner concentrate. So this 1 capful for 1 pint, or 0.5 of a liter. So all I need to do here is take the cap, because 1 capful means a capful. I got some crap happening here. I need to pick out the particles out of the end of this thing. So I don't want aluminum or plastic to get in there. So I just pick that out like that. And I'll put that away later. So 1 capful. Here's the cap. I'm going to fill that up like that. Pour it down like that. And that's for 0.5 of a liter, so it may even be too much. But we shall see, folks. We shall see. And there's a little bit of cardboard on there. I'm just going to leave that on and maybe help seal this. And I fill this up with water and then press the button. I usually press the 50-watt button and let her run for half an hour, and that's it. And everything should be looking spanky, maybe. So there is the watch sitting inside the ultrasonic cleaner. We'll see what happens to that crystal. If the crystal goes ba-doom, then I may need to replace it. But I can set this thing so it's set for 30 minutes. And that's perfect. And then I hit go. And you can see a little bit of the Cavitron effect here happening. So I'm going to close this down and let this run for 30 minutes. And I shall be back and see what kind of dirt this thing removes, because it's made in China. All right, it's done. Let's see what kind of mess this is. It's actually hot, so if you look in there, there's a whole lot of dirt particles floating around. So we'll take this watch out and have a look at what's going on. First we'll turn it off, or that turns it on, I think. Or I just have to unplug it. All right, reaching into the hot boiling water and seeing if I did a good enough job. So how hot is that? That's not too bad. Well, it looks like the crystal is still on it. So let's just rest this down here and see what we got. Look at that. Actually, it looks really good. Crystal's still on. The watch is pretty good, I'd say. Got 90% of the dirt out of it. I know I've got to rinse it off, but look at the case back here. Look at that. Holy jeez, that looks good. That's almost brand new. That's the case back. There's the watch. The crystal stayed in, which is nice. Have to test that later, but it looks pretty friggin' clean. This thing was full of leftover skin, DNA. There's a little part there I think I've got to get in there and just use a brush to just get rid of that, right? Which is easy to do. Just take a brush like that and sweep it out, because the ultrasonic cleaner already loosened all the material. So, and I got a little bit right there, and that's it. So that's it. So that is what she looks like, and we're going to reassemble this watch and see what it looks like after I reassemble it. But first we got to let it dry. I'm going to roll over this towel and dry it up a bit. But I think I just need to rinse it. So I'm going to go to the sink and do some rinsing. All right, now we're going to try to seal that seal. So I use this joint gasket lubricant, and I just took the black gasket and threw it in there, and then you rotate it, and that cleans or just lubricates the gasket. And I put it in, I laid it on top and let the case back actually push it into position. I found it very difficult to put back into the slot. So there we go. I'm putting it back in now and making sure that it's in position. And I take it out again just to make sure it did go in the slot and it's not crossed or anything. So you got a good seal in the gasket. Because this watch is a waterproof watch, 200 meters. It's not a bad watch for a guess watch. Those are usually fashion watches, which are crappy, but this is not too bad a watch. So here I'm just trying to tighten it down a bit. There we go. Tighten that bugger down. And there we go. And that's not too bad. And so the watch is pretty much done, cleaned. It's looking pretty good. That's a good way to use your cleaning devices to quickly clean a quartz watch. I just threw the whole darn thing in after I took the movement out, and it came out spotless. So there we go. Make sure it's dry when you put it back together. It's all set. And thanks for watching this video this time, and we'll catch you next time.